Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video on breastfeeding after breast reduction, and as you guys can see, I'm breastfeeding. This wasn't intentional per se, but how fitting is it for this video? So start things off, guys. I am breastfeeding. Isn't that amazing? I am breastfeeding. So in my videos, I did explain that I guess for me, I was going to remain quite optimistic. I did call my surgeon and asked him just if I would be able to breastfeed based on the procedure, the way he performed my surgery. And I was told by a secretary, I was told that my areola was, or my nipples were not detached, so there shouldn't be any real problems. Now, everyone else I've encountered, they're like, oh, I've heard that you wouldn't be able to breastfeed. Articles that I've read, or just even hearing other people's stories, I've came across a lot of things, and most of them are leading towards the latter of not being able to breastfeed. And it's very discouraging. But one thing I did throughout my journey was just of my pregnancies just to remain positive, because I knew I wanted to breastfeed. I breastfed all my other children, and I generally loved the experience. Now, I was also told, another thing that I was told is that if you didn't have any problems before breastfeeding, that you shouldn't really encounter any problems today, like now, as long as your nipples were not detached. And that put me, that sounded like I was a pretty good candidate for that, because mine weren't detached, and I had it relatively easy breastfeeding mine, minus just the little few encounters that you may endure during the first week or two of nursing. So I'm just going to jump right in after my experience. So I gave birth, and here was the big test, guys. After, I had a C-section, so after being rolled out of recovery, I was then told, okay, let's just nurse as usual. Now, none of the nurses per se really knew my story about my reduction. I think, it was never a factor. It never came up because I didn't focus on it. I wanted my experience to be as natural as possible. So after she was born, they just kind of gave her to me and said, okay, mama, nurse her. And so I did as usual. And she just nursed. Her latch wasn't the best, mind you. So that it created some problems here and there because she wasn't latching on correctly. But overall, I just kept going like I did the first time. I didn't act as if anything was different. Now, I had this baby around Christmas time, guys, and being that we moved, if you follow us on our other channel, on my family vlog channel, you'd know that we moved. And so with that move, our family doctor is not near us. And because of the weather and the holiday time, it was just hard to travel to our family doctor. So we ended up checking about for baby clinics and whatnot, but none of them were open until January, and I had the baby the 22nd of December. So that was really bad, because it's usually recommended that you go to follow up with a doctor or pediatrician within day 4 or day 5 of delivery, so we can check baby's health. Does baby have jaundice? Is baby gaining weight correctly? Right? Is baby back up to birth weight? So because of the long delay, I think mine was 10 days. I think mine was double the time frame recommended. It was almost 2 weeks. By the time I got back to see the doctor, we determined that the baby wasn't gaining weight. In fact, she was born weighing 812, and when we left the hospital, she weighed 83. Now, she basically maintained that weight the entire time. When I went to see the pediatrician after 10 days of delivery, she should have been back up to birth weight, but she wasn't. She was just at either 8.2 or 8.3. Immediately, that kind of seemed problematic. I got to see a lactation consultant, and she was, she was concerned. You could see wherein she was concerned, and that kind of just made me as a mom react, and just feeling so guilty. Maybe I don't have enough milk to give her. Maybe she's just not, she's not getting enough. Should I just be supplementing? And at that point, Similac had sent me 4 free bottles of the pre-ready formula. And so I traveled with that, because in the back of my mind, I just always have that there's just, I'm trying to be positive, but there's always that doubt, like what if like I'm out sometime and she's screaming her head off and I don't have enough milk, or what if, you know. So I traveled with it and I showed the nurse and the lactation consultant, and then we ended up, you know, giving some to the baby while we were there. And this was like the first step to me thinking, oh my goodness, like this might be it. This is probably what I'm gonna have to do to supplement, because here she is not gaining enough weight. Anyways, long story short, I went back to see the woman 3 days after, and I had given her 2 of those pre-made formula bottles, and then I decided, no, I really want to keep going with nursing. So I just kind of stopped, and I kind of felt she was reacting to them too, so that was another thing. So I stopped, and I just kept giving her breast. I kept giving her the breast. And when she went back, she had gained, I believe, 5 ounces on her own, but it still wasn't up to where they wanted her to be. She was at 8.7, I believe. And then I went back 2 weeks later, and now she is at 9.2. I feel like my milk took a while to come in. I felt like you can tell when it comes in, and I didn't feel any of that really in the first week and a half. And then when it finally came in, like I felt like they just felt heavy and full. And so that was really cool to see, but it took a while to get to that point. And during that time, it was just very kind of disheartening and discouraging, because it inflicted a lot of doubt in myself. So overall, like I just updated you and letting you know that the baby has gained weight. My nursing is going well, especially now that she's bigger and she knows how to latch well on her own for the most part. And my breasts are softer now, where you can, you know, where they're not engorged. She's able to nurse from one side to the next, and I can go into the details of it in another video, talking about just some of my issues with her being lactose intolerant and what I did to solve that. It's lactose intolerant or hind milk foremilk imbalance. I can't tell you which one it was, but I read and I came up with a bunch of solutions, or I didn't come up with it myself, mind you. I read it and I have done it, and it seemed to have like corrected that problem. So I'm going to do that in a separate video, but now she's at the point where I can just nurse her from one breast and put it away, and if she's still seems to be hungry, I'll put her on the other, and that's basically it. She's got plenty of dirty diapers coming, so I'm not concerned. And just the weight on the scale was just very, very reassuring to me that she's getting what she needs, and I'm so thankful. And the doctor didn't have any concerns. So overall, me sharing my story is just saying, like, I was sharing the story to say that if this is you and you've had a reduction, who knows? We don't know. Maybe you will be able to nurse, maybe you won't. But up until that point, don't give up. Don't get discouraged by all the negativity of others, and don't get discouraged by all the negativity from like the articles or videos or whatever it is that you see, other resources out there. Try to be optimistic. Try to just, you know, don't give up, and don't quit before you actually try. And I mean, not just try as in I tried the first time and my nipples hurt, so I'm just going to quit anyways, but try as in, like, give it a good shot. We don't want to compromise the health of our baby for, you know, just our benefit of wanting to breastfeed, our desires really of wanting to breastfeed. But overall, I feel like if we are consistent in trying, we can get to this point, because there are plenty of times where I felt very discouraged. I cried to my husband a few times where I was just saying, you know what, I think I'm going to give her the bottle. And that was more, it was just out of fear of my child not thriving in the way that she should. So I would definitely recommend that you not quit, and you just try your best if it is something you want to do. But don't compromise your child's health. Yeah, that's my story, and you guys can see I'm nursing and it's going well, and I'm just so happy to be able to do this again, and maybe another time after that, who knows. So, and she's out. You can hear her literally snoring. So that's my experience overall, guys. Comment down below and let me know if you or anyone you've known has ever had breast reduction surgery and was able to nurse after, because I really didn't know anyone. who shared my story. So that's why I'm sharing it with you guys. Maybe you're in the same position where you don't really know anyone. So definitely comment down below and let me know. And let me know if you find this video helpful. If you do, don't forget to share it and like it. Give it a thumbs up. And thanks for watching, guys.